Good morning. All right. This is the vlog for day 32. Today is day 33 in the morning. New record for me. Well done, Martine. Just made myself a cuppa. This one is sweet vanilla. It isn't sweet at all, but it's called sweet vanilla. Whatever. It's delicious. That's the main thing. And I've got my cream in it. Yum, yum, yum. All right. What did I eat yesterday? Let me find you. There you are. How are you? How are you going? There is a lovely lady in New Zealand that I've been following, and I will put up her Carnivore with Sue, or Sue with Carnivore. Fascinating, the different things she's using. I've never heard of methylate blue before, and she was talking about methylate blue on her vlog yesterday. She's doing high fat with Carnivore, and I was just exploring because just a quick story. You know I love those. Because the longest I've done Carnivore for was 14 days before now, of course. And I was weighing myself, and it was a lot of effort for no weight loss on the scales. And that's probably the summary of why I do Carnivore for several days, and then I do Ketovore, and then I go Carnivore, and that's why I decided not to weigh myself during this challenge, what has started out as a challenge. And look, by the end of the 90 days, I may decide to just stay Ketovore, but my daughter is looking at doing it longer, and I really want to support her, and it's good for me too, right? So, and even Ketovore, I'm mainly meat. I just put seasonings and a few other things in. And that's why I decided, just remembering my story that I'm telling you, not to weigh myself. I'm going somewhere with high fat Carnivore. That's where I'm going. And so, yes, and so I decided not to weigh myself because I wanted to make it the 90 days, and I didn't want to feel discouraged that I'm not losing any weight when the Carnivore diet is so much more than that. I'm post-menopause. I have lipedema. I have IBS. I have a fatty liver. I've had VSG surgery. My mobility is an issue, so I'm not very active, okay? Yeah, I'm not even going to qualify that. It feels like there's a lot working against me, but I still believe it can be done, right? I still believe it can be done. And the last time I checked, I was close to 400 pounds. So 100 kilos, 107, in the 170s kilos. So then I've just been hearing a little bit, look, I watched Kelly Hogan, talked about it a while ago now, maybe a year ago, and I've never, you can hear a little girl in the background, she's laughing because she's watching Gabby's Dollhouse. She thinks it's funny. I love it. I used to sit and listen to my son giggle when he was little. It was so funny. It brings a sense of joy when your kids laugh, right? Anyway, so I thought, look, I'm only 33, I'm 33 days in. Why not just have a look into high fat Carnivore and see if that was maybe the reason, eating a lot of protein, and maybe I need to eat more fat. I will say this, through anecdotal results and experience for myself, I will say that over the last 10 years, I discovered the HCG diet, which is a hormone, all right? It's a hormone that unlocks your cells, your fat cells, especially in those hard places. And with lipedema, I can understand why it worked so well for me, because it did. I lost weight very easily. The thing with the HCG diet is it's not a way of eating. It isn't a way of eating. It's for a finite period of time, 21 days or 42 days, because you can't eat 600 calories a day. It's not healthy, right? So it actually is to unlock the fat, get rid of the fat. And then P3 is actually a space where you employ all the good eating habits that you would employ, like the carnivore diet if you wanted to. Anyway, from doing that over a couple of years, I cycled on and off, and I lost up to 30 kilos with it, and it wasn't hard.
Nanny.
Yes, darling. Yep.
Nanny, can you get me some plain paper?
Yes. Do you know where the plain paper is, sweetheart? In your box, in your tub, there's a folder, and it's got lots of white paper in there and coloured paper if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I better finish. The upshot is hormones affect my weight loss, and I know that. I discovered that myself by accident, not because anyone told me. No one was talking about hormones. No one that I know was talking about hormones 10 years ago. Probably people were. But I didn't discover it through reading it or going on YouTube. I don't think I was even on YouTube back then. Yeah, hadn't discovered YouTube as like a channel to watch. I know that sounds bizarre now in this day and age, but I hadn't. So I discovered for myself that my weight is a hormonal thing, and no one around me was saying that. And look, I was sure of it, but yet I didn't have any evidence. I didn't have anyone else saying that. Now it's quite. Then I started hearing calories in. It's not all about the calories you eat. And I thought, that's interesting because of my own experience. And I thought, I actually believe that. Even though there's more to that story, right? Calories are important, but they're not the marker or the metric, the only metric you should be using. I should be using anyway. So, in amongst all of that hot pot, I will tell you what I ate yesterday for day 32. But in amongst all of that, I have discovered that hormones are a thing. They're very important for my body. Of course, just in the last month, discovering lipedema in learning more about lipedema, let's say that, because I feel like I don't know much, but it all makes sense and adds up. And I've got a few spots on my legs where it's just a different shape. It's just not your regular leg, just doesn't go down like that. And I've had that for years and years. And when I was on HCG, that would disappear first. Unheard of. For me, going on a diet, there's no way. I would always lose weight just here first, then my chest and my waist, and then, everything else stays big. But not with the HCG diet. All the big areas were targeted first. So I think there's something to that. I don't know. I'm obviously not a doctor or a scientist, so I don't know all the ins and outs. A few people did do research, and the HCG diet that hormone does affect your ghrelin and your leptin. And so that's good news, because they're your eating, fasting. Thank you, darling. Little girl just bought me Pinky.
Nanny, I
yes.
can't find my pencils.
They should be, they're just there, sweetheart. They're just there under the letters. See the box? Yep. So, hormones, high-fat carnivore, and I know eating fat really is good for your hormones. Okay, I had no period for a couple of years when we moved to the country to work back in the day, back a long time ago. And yeah, I think I was juicing back then. What was I doing? Raw food combining, juicing, who knows? There's been many things. That is the sous vide turning on for Emma, for little girl. I just sous vide her chuck roasts for her. All right, so what did I have yesterday? Let's do that and then we'll finish. I had a cup of tea, and then I had some of my crunchy beef. You know, the one, this is my spa seasoning, but in the jar, the crunchy beef that I make. Then we went to the beef shed, so I'll show you, I did a meat haul. And the only thing I could find that I really wanted there was the porterhouse was really good, $22 a kilo. That's excellent value. It's $45 a kilo here in Perth. And I got all the marbled steaks. Like I checked it first because a lot of them were just plain red, like they had no marbling in them. And I went, oh, do I want that sort of a steak right now? But then I hunted around in there and I found marbling. So I'll show you that. That was really cool. So I really just got that and some chicken wings. My husband loves, they're already cut into, you know, jointed. So you get those, you know, the nice 2 joints and then you've got the wing tip, which I keep for chicken stock, but I do cut mine into thirds when I get them. So it was already done for me, $2.29 a kilo, bargain. So I got 2 kilos of them. Husband loves them, so does son. So I make them and they just woof, gone, 2 kilos gone like that. That was cool. And then I got home and I sliced up some pork belly. So even though they're in slices, I like them in strips. I like the way you get them from a barbecue, an Asian barbecue place. I love that. I cut them up and then I had a little bit of steak left, skirt steak, my 5-hour cook. Oh, was that? No, that was my chuck steak that I'd sous vide. I'd sliced it up. That's what that was. It was so tender. So I cooked that and the pork belly. It was way too much. I'll show you that. It was way too much food. And I'm calling them a biscuit now. They've gone from a flatbread. Depending on what your ratio of pork rinds is, I added chicken flour and they turned into like a biscuit, a savoury biscuit. So I am going to do that recipe because I knew that, and that would make a great pastry too. But anyway, I ended up having one. I've got 3 there and they were just very thick and sturdy, which is why I hadn't eaten them. But yesterday I just needed something, like I just wanted some bread. So I grabbed one of these pork rind biscuits, call it that, and I spread on it some of my pork belly mayo or butter mayo. It definitely is butter mayo. It's like butter and it's soft and out of the fridge. You can actually spread it from the fridge. It's very good. And so I was nibbling on that while I was cooking, and so you can see on my plate there isn't much of it left. It was a circle like that, and I couldn't eat it all, so I left probably a third of that meal, and then I had it 2.5 hours later. So that was what I ate yesterday. And then late last night I made some jelly. Creamy, so I added coconut milk to it. So I made some jelly. Would be classed as a ketovore dessert, I think. You would class it that way. But again, I've allowed myself sweeteners on this, and coconut milk, absolutely. Like oat milk or almond milk, I've allowed myself. I haven't had, but it's on my list of things. So I made that, and the husband loves having some jelly in the house. So it's got a little bit of sweetener in it, and that's in the fridge. We haven't had that yet, but I made that late last night, and then I got out my fat bombs. I don't know if you remember my caramelized fat bombs that I made, which was a complete fluke, but that fat ended up cooking longer in the bottom of the slow cooker, and it tastes different to the other fat. Anyway, so I had 1.5 or 2 because I'm researching high fat carnivore right now. Excuse me. And I have to be careful because I don't have a gallbladder either. Add that to my list. So I do have enzyme tablets and things like that, and that helps. And I know your body will adjust, but at the moment I need that, so that's good. So I'm just, over the next few weeks, perhaps, I'm just going to see if I can incorporate more fat in a way that I can't just pour it on my steak because that'll make me vomit. I can't do that. That'll make me sick, feel sick. So I've got to get it other ways, and having fat bombs is great for me. I like them, and with that, I cut it in half, and then I cut it in 6 or 8 little tiny bits, and it's delicious. It's absolutely delicious. So I'm all for that. I'm going to make that. I don't know if I want to make them sweet. I quite like them the way they are. So I'm just going to keep them at that. I do need to weigh it and see how much fat it is so that I've got some idea of what I'm adding into my day. Even though I understand that you eat until you're happy and then you stop. I understand that. It's interesting when you're on this side and you've got multiple comorbidities that you're working with, it isn't always as straightforward as that. I know in theory that's how it should be, and that is how it is in theory, and that totally works for a lot of people. I have found for myself that there is other things going on that I have to consider. So yes, that's all the detail and all the lowdown from me. So yesterday was a great day. I'm very proud of myself. 32 days today is day 33. I hope you're going well. Please let me know how you're going. Hello to all those that have, popped on and had a chat. And Sue from New Zealand, cheers to you, mate. At first I thought, is she Australian? And then I was listening and I went, no, she's from New Zealand. But we're neighbours. We are neighbours. All right. So, looking forward to seeing more of what's going on for her. She's doing high-fat carnivore right now. Kelly Hogan's doing high-fat carnivore. I think Steak and Butter Girl must be high-fat carnivore. I'm not sure if she ever says that. I've watched a lot of her videos. I just don't recall that. It obviously wasn't on my radar. You know how that happens? When something goes on your radar and then you see it everywhere. Yes, I'll probably go back. I'll go back to her channel and then go, oh, of course. As it happens. But she eats butter constantly on the thing. I want to make myself one of my tallow bars like butter, and I'm going to do a Steak and Butter Girl. Yum, 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 yum. That's what I'm going to do. I was thinking about it yesterday. All right, I got to go. Little girl is busy drawing, and I'm going to go and join her. We can colour in together or do something special. So from Pinky and from me, I'm saying bye-bye. I will see you here tomorrow. Bye.